Hola, buenos días, Christopher.
Hola Felipe, buenos días.
Oye, nada más te comento, ves que tengo una clase aquí luego, que
Ajá,
me traslapan. Entonces, voy a estar, nada más como hasta las 8:10 más o menos.
está bien.
Ándale. Después digo así, ya, pero en general, o sea, todos los días.
Ok, no problema.
Bueno, por ahí veo una chica que se está conectando a mi Zoom. No sé si también como, estar moderando de aquel lado, mandarlos para acá.
Vamos a volver a mandar el anuncio diciendo que...
Sí, porque es que el problema es que si seleccionas como el link que te aparece en Canvas, aunque tiene el ID de este Zoom,
Ajá.
manda el profe Felipe. Entonces sí está como ahí mal como la liga.
Ah, en donde dice mis clases.
Haz de cuenta que,
Ah,
ay, no sé si las pueda compartir para que más o menos cheque.
no, sí sé dónde, sí te entendí, gracias. Entonces, a ver, nada más checar, es que yo pensé que ya lo había actualizado yo, entonces lo voy a revisar nuevamente, donde dice liga a la sesión de Zoom en mis clases.
Sí, haz de cuenta que en la primera página, en la página de como inicio, te aparece la clase, te dice Zoom Link. Y cuando le seleccionas, aunque tiene el ID, como que redirecciona al otro, no sé por qué.
No, es que dice Zoom Link, pero sí tiene ¿eh? 9784050055. Sí tiene razón. ¿Quién sabe por qué manda el mío? Porque sí, este es el 0055. Ajá. Y luego donde está en My Classes, dice liga a la sesión de Zoom y también dice está el 050055. Ok. Bueno, entonces, igual, Chris, me salgo de pronto de esta sesión y me voy a la otra para estar ahí, moderando los que se vayan, para allá.
Ok,
Sí. Es que sí me llegan los abusos, pero los avisos a mi correo, dice, aquí ya te están esperando. Entonces,
bueno, de todos modos nosotros esperamos a las 7:05.
perfecto. Muy bien. En un momentito regreso entonces,
Ujú.
tío. Por si ves que me salgo, es por eso.
Ok. Hello, guys. Good morning.
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
How is everyone doing?
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. This class is in English. Don't feel obliged to speak in English. If you want to speak in Spanish, you can do it. The idea is that you practice professional English for finance and accounting. So in case you decide to follow a career or finance or accounting, you have the concepts already. My name is Christopher Lopez. It's now 7:05 in the AM, so we're gonna start the class. Welcome to the Investment Project Evaluation Group 1. This class is for finance and accounting modules. The idea of this class is for you to introduce yourself to concepts for finance and for accounting. So it's supposed to be like an introductory class for some concepts that that you will be using later in your professional career. So even though you are supposed to have a dominion level of some of the competencies in C level, it doesn't mean that you're going to check everything. For example, cash flow analysis, we will just learn how to make the cash flow. This is going to be really simple cash flow analysis. Also for general investment analysis of the business, you will learn some risk analysis decisions, some evaluation methods, not all of them because, well, the class is too short. And also if we just dive too deep, you're going to lose the point of the class. And what is the point of the class? Well, the point of the class is that you guys learn how to evaluate business decisions inside a business as an investment. All right. So you need to take a decision. You can approach that decision with an investment perspective, such as if you will be investing in stocks, you will compare stocks, right? You will do maybe formal analysis or fundamental analysis, and you will check two companies, and then you will see which company is better to invest, or maybe even if you're investing in derivatives, you will check what is the best contract, and then you will take the decision to invest. This class has the objective for you to see business decisions inside a company as investment decisions. So all the concepts surrounding this are going to be directed to that. All right. Now,
Okay, I don't know, Christopher, if I introduce myself right now.
Well, I have it here in the presentation. So, but if you want
Okay,
to
I
start
wait.
your introduction.
I wait. Don't worry.
Okay. So, what is we're gonna be looking today? Today it's introduction day. So, my name, the professors in charge of this course will introduce themselves. Then we will check what is the course content as general, a little bit more in detail up next. And if we have time, we're gonna dive again in a review of financial statements, because even though you are not supposed to see or check financial statements here in this course, because this is knowledge you're supposed to have already, we're gonna review them because it's important for you to have this fresh knowledge. So we're also gonna do that and leave a homework for you guys to prepare for the next class, right? Feel free to interrupt me anytime you need me to repeat something, or if you want to ask something, go ahead, just raise your hand. I can see them here in the chat. And let me open the chat. I can see your hand if you raise your hand in Zoom. If you want to write something in the chat, go ahead. Class rules, remember that you are required to open your camera because we need to take attendance. So if we don't see your face in the camera, we cannot write the attendance in Canvas. So guys, please turn on your cameras. Try to participate in the course. Okay. So first part of the course is introductions. I already introduced myself. My name is Christopher, as I told you. I am an accountant. I have a bachelor's degree on accounting for this campus, actually. I'm a graduate from Tecnológico Monterrey here in Campus Querétaro. I also hold a master's degree on taxation. So that's I work in the United States for a while. That's why I know professional finance English. And now I'm here. I have a small accounting business, and I'm also a teacher here at Tech. Felipe.
Hello, everybody. Good morning. First of all, I want to explain to you why do you have two professors right now. Okay, we are working as a team, Christopher and I. The thing is that I am, I have another class overlapping this class. So most of the classes is going to be with Christopher. Okay, so I'm going to be some minutes, for example, from 7 to 8, and some minutes later. But the idea is that I can help mostly with your questions. For example, if you want to ask something in the chat, or if you need some advisory, we can make a separate breakout room. I can give you some advice personally. Also, if you need some advisory or tutoring outside the official hours, we can agree to an appointment so I can give you some advisory. And of course, sometimes here in regular classes, maybe I'm going to add some of my parts of the presentation, you know, but you know, I have an overlap with another class. So most of the time you are going to be with Professor Christopher. My name is Felipe Perez. I am LAF. I study LAF in the Universidad Panamericana in Mexico City. I have a master's degree in an MBA from Universidad Anáhuac in Tamaulipas, and I have a PhD in economics from UAC. I also have worked in professional firms, for example, EY. I've been consultant. I have worked in the financial system. My focus is mostly financial system, but okay.
Am I the only one with the frozen screen? No? Well,
No, frozen.
let's wait for Felipe to reconnect. Let me finish introducing him. Actually, guys, take advantage of the fact that we are two professors here for you. I have a master's degree. Felipe has a PhD on ITAM for finance. So the idea of this course is that he will help you with doubts you have. It's like for private tutoring. He's gonna be with us in most of the classes in the morning. As he already told you, he has an overlap of classes. I think his first class starts at 8:30. So okay, he already left. So let's see if he's not in the waiting room. No, well, pretty sure he will come back. Don't worry. As I was telling you, he has a PhD in finance. He has overlaps. But the thing is that we are co-professors in this class. He will help you mostly on Fridays. The idea is that on Fridays you have a question for finance, for accounting. You can go to a breakout room with Felipe. Thank you. Back, Felipe. Yeah, you got frozen.
Something happened. I don't know why the Zoom.
Yeah, it froze and then it took you out. Don't worry. I was just telling them like the fact that they take advantage of you. Like you have a PhD on finance, and if they have any question regarding finance, financial analysis, or even corporate structure, financial statements, you can help them. So I was explaining them that. So maybe you want to take on.
No, thank you. Thank you very much for the introduction. No, we're here to help you. Remember, we know that this class
connectivity issues again. Okay, don't worry. Just to finish that part, take advantage of the fact that we are two teachers. So maybe you don't like me so much, you can talk to Felipe. And if you don't like Felipe too much, you can talk to me. The idea is for you guys to review these concepts and actually take something out of these classes. This class, it's the first time I give this class, but I check all the content. I'll be preparing all the presentations and all the modules in Canvas. And I have to tell you something, it's a good class. I mean, Felipe is back. Can you hear us, Felipe?
Yes, sorry, I'm having a problem with the firewall. I'm looking at a message saying that there's some problem with the firewall. So please continue, Christopher.
Okay.
To avoid further interruptions. Just welcome and thank you for this class.
Okay, thank you, Felipe. So that's us. That's Felipe. That's me. Let's go ahead now with the class content. And no, first, Remind. I think you all guys have used Remind before because Remind is being used for all professors here at Tech. So remember, please, if you don't have Remind, Remind is a school communication apps. It's separated from WhatsApp, so it's more private and it has strict fixed hours that you can talk to me and I can talk to you. So that also helps to the professional communication between us. So if you don't have Remind, please download Remind from the App Store or from Google Play. If you don't have it, create an account and don't worry if it asks you for your phone number. It's only for you to see it. Neither me or Felipe or any of your classmates will be able to see your phone number. The idea of Remind is to be private for you and also for me. So go ahead. You all have Remind, guys, in your phones, or the Remind account for you to go in the web app. Yeah, nobody's talking, so I'm gonna assume you do.
have.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, great. Now you're gonna go for the options. For the student option, you're gonna log in as a student. And remember, if you don't have Remind or if your name is not right down like that, please change it. You need to use your school ID, the matricula, then it's gonna be your name and then your last name, just as you are seeing it here in this box over here. All right? Just take something here. You're just saying like this, because if you don't do that, then for me it's a little bit hard to answer questions, because I don't know who is asking the question. So maybe we already had a discussion about an issue and I don't see your name or your ID number, then I just get lost. So please do that. Put your birthday and look for the class code. The class code is the same as in Canvas. So let's get all of you sign in, please, on Reminds. Let's take, where you guys think 5 minutes for all of you to find the class and join. All right, enroll in the class. So I'm gonna change the icon. I don't like that icon. I'm gonna use this one. All right. I'm not getting anyone inside the class. Can you guys find the class?
I already sent you a request.
Yeah, I'm raising the request, but it says that it's pending.
Yeah, I as well.
Yeah. Then we have a problem, guys, because it's either that or my internet is just failing as Felipe's. Well, it's not possible because I turned down the ask for permission to join. To send a request again, please.
It is asking me for a permission too.
The thing is that, sorry, my microphone just got bitten out. It's changing the code. Yes. So discard, and it's telling me, I mean, I put this code, but the phone is showing me another one now. So 43F, 43A, 43F. So use that code, please, and try again. Technology betrays all. Married H. Now I'm getting the, okay. Yeah. Isaac. I only have Isaac.
I just send you a request.
Me
I
too.
also
This is
send
great.
you.
Yeah, yeah. Now I have my. What the hell is wrong with this one? Andres. Only one of you guys did the name as you are supposed to. Okay. No,
I wasn't able to change it.
You're gonna change it, right? You already did the error. Okay, yeah. Okay. A few people already enrolled to the class. It's already 5 minutes. Okay, so I think it's all of you now. I accept the others, all the pending. All the pending requests, but now it's been a while since I opened Remind, so maybe that's why. Okay, now there is it. I don't longer have pending requests. So if one of you is not getting inside the class, please send me an email so I can add you later. Apparently now everyone is enrolled, so let's continue with the class, all right? Now, why is Remind important for us? Well, if you have any questions that you didn't ask in the class and then you are doing a homework or you are starting your project, your class project, you can send me a remind and I will answer it when I see it. I mean, I have it in the phone, it's just like WhatsApp. So I will gladly answer you that. Also, if you have like a tutoring session, you can schedule it on Remind. And also for me to send you notifications regarding the course, I will send you to Remind. So it's important for you to have it on in your phone, all right? Okay. What are the competencies you are supposed to learn in this course? I mean, there are 3. It's business intelligence, financial vision, and Andres Delgado, you are raising your hand. You want to say something? Or you just... No? All right.
No.
Okay, it's okay, don't worry. Financial vision, complex financial reasoning. There are only 3 competencies. They are a bit, I mean, the Dominion level that is required for you for this competency is Dominion C, even though we are not going to be seeing all of the, I mean, it's impossible for you to develop business intelligence, for example, competence like fully business intelligence. That will require for you to learn a programming language for business intelligence, maybe R or Python, something like that. We are not going to do that here. So the idea of the Dominion C for this competence, for example, is for you to understand how business intelligence works, as how the information inside a database connects everything in the business and how you can take decisions based on that information. The same is true for the other 2. For financial vision and complex financial reasoning, we are going to pick concepts that we believe are going to help you develop the competencies and also going to help you in case you need something. I mean, in case you need to apply this knowledge in like real life situations, that the most used concepts, that's the ones we already know for working experience, professional experience. So that's the ones we're going to be teaching you in this course. And the idea is that those concepts that we pick, you are able to develop to a Dominion level C. What are the concepts we're going to be
sorry,
checking?
about the competences. Of course, the people who is going to follow the path of public accountant or LAF, you are going to go in deep in about these competences. But maybe some of you are going to follow a different path. So these kind of competences are most focused in two things. First, to get the financial logic, okay? Behind finance, there is a logic and there are a certain way to reason, to think in a financial way. So regardless if you are going to be in Merca or in international business, you need to have this, to understand this logic, okay? At least to understand the logic. And second, you are going to get the basic tools to perform a finance analysis and finance valuation. So these basic tools are the kind of tools that you are going to use in business, regardless of what is your specialization. So it is, for example, the people that is going to study LAF, maybe you think that these tools are going to be basic, but you are going to get in deep in further courses. And for the people who is studying for a different specialization, maybe you're going to say, no, but I'm not interested in finance, but these are the basic tools that you need for business. So this is an important course for these kind of competences.
Thank you, Felipe. Yeah, just as Felipe is saying, this is a stepway course. So later in your professional career, I mean, in your college career, if you choose finance or accounting, you will dive in deep into these concepts. If not, they will help you to develop skills that you as a business professional, either on marketing, on international trade, or wherever the business field you choose to follow your professional career, you will use these concepts. So that's why we're gonna do it like the ones we know as professionals already in the field, that are the ones more used for professionals in business, like general in business, just as Felipe told you. What are those concepts then? Well, we're gonna be reviewing cash flow for investment and operations, opportunity cost and sunk cost. It's just fancy words for a simple idea. It's the money that you spend on a business and on idea, the precision schemes, evaluation methods. We wanna pick some of them to show you. I mean, time value of money, all of that, internal revenue rate, inflation effect and evaluation models, project evaluation under uncertainty, and discount rate for project evaluations. It's basically how you can take a business decision as an investment decision, all right? The case we're going to be reviewing has that problem. It's you are facing a problem and you need to take a decision as if it were an investment decision.
Yes, about this concept of uncertainty, it is very important. In the project evaluation methods are going to help us to make better decisions. But uncertainty is part of life, okay? We cannot avoid uncertainty. We cannot make perhaps the perfect decision, okay? And that kind of ambiguity sometimes is hard to accept for many people. Okay, business is like that. We need to have tools to improve, to have better decisions, but understanding that the perfect decision doesn't exist, okay? And that is why these valuation methods are not performed by machines, are not performed by an algorithm in a computer, okay? At the end, the decisions are made by people, okay? And people have criteria, people use the tools, use the analysis, but at the end, you have your own criteria, okay?
Yeah. Thank you. Now, there are two types of concepts, I mean, two ways to develop. There are procedural concepts and attitudinal concepts. What are procedural? Well, basically, it's that something that you will learn to do here, just as a formula. All right, guys? So you will learn to do that, you will practice it, and then you will have it embedded in your skull. I mean, you will be able to replicate that knowledge later. It's a procedure. So don't worry about that. That's actually just pay attention to the homeworks and you will be fine with that. Attitudinal is the part that Felipe was just describing. It's more related with the way you see investment and the way you just construct the information and take the decision. Uncertainty, taking consideration, risk analysis, everything, all of that just gives you numbers. You know, financial business intelligence is gonna generate numbers, and then your ability to interpret those numbers and then take a decision is an attitudinal. So that's basically it. What are the phases we're going to be following to review these concepts inside the case? First is diagnosis. We're going to read a case. I mean, you're going to read a case. You're going to reach a diagnosis of what is happening. Then you're going to do a structure of the project. Project modeling, in finance terms, that means that you're going to do a pro forma financial statement, and then you're going to take a decision with all the information, procedural information you develop to take a decision. It's just 4 phases. It's really logical. I mean, it's you see something, you diagnose the problem, then you structure the problem, you do a modeling of the options you have, and then you take the decision, taking into consideration that. What is the problem situation? And in here, we are going to jump on Canvas. All right, I need you guys to check your Canvas. It's already published. You are supposed to see it like this. If you don't have information in your Canvas, please tell me, send me an email if you like, so I can review it with the technical team. You all can see your Canvas already, right? All the content inside your Canvas?
Yes, sir.
Yes, no? Yes, sir? All right. Okay, so let's navigate a bit on Canvas. Here you have like the homepage information, really normal and what is the word? Really just fixed information for you in your Canvas that is just generally accepted form for all other Canvas courses. So you will learn, you have your learning outcomes, learning contents, methodology, evaluation plan. I highly recommend you to check all of this. And right now we're gonna see the evaluation plan, and then we're gonna see the problem situation, all right? First, the evaluation plan. That is, how are we going to evaluate you and assign you a grade? So the course, basically, it's split into 2 things. First are learning activities and evidence of learning. As you know, here in Tech 21, first century, Tech 21, you have to show evidence of your work for you to get the grade. So for you, it's important to know what is the evidence. The evidence is a project evaluation report based on a problem case we already choose from you. For you, you're gonna be building that case from different activities and homeworks, and the idea is for you at the end of the course, you already have it reviewed and check, and if you just follow all the instructions and homeworks, you are supposed to get, I mean, I hope you all get 100 on that, and you secure those 50 points. The other 50% of your grade comes from, it's separated in 2. One is homeworks and activities we're gonna be doing in class, and the other one is the integrative examination, that is the exam. So study for that, or do all your homeworks. I get 100 on your project evaluation report, and you will pass the course. So that's basically it. Here is the feedback plan and the criteria we're gonna follow to evaluate you. So take a moment for you of your day, check all of this in deep. We go again to student view. Wait. All right. So, what is the problem situation? Well, the problem situation is named Beer Station. That is the code. You will find the Beer Station case on the CIC webpage. That is the Centro Internacional de Casos. So now we're gonna take 10 minutes for you to find it. I'll show you the instructions, and then you're gonna go for the case, and we're gonna do an overview of the case, all right? So go to your Canvas, click in this little arrow here pointing right, and it's really simple. Just look for the CIC page. That is the URL. It's gonna take you to the library page. Just go to the Centro Internacional de Casos, log into your account, click cases. You can write the code here. The code for the investment situation is this one, C280625, or you can look it for it for subject matter. So the subject is it's finance, and then pre-evaluation, because it's investment pre-evaluation, and then you have the Beer Station. Please find it in English because this is an English course. And here is it. You just need to click here on see document. And for you cannot download this. I mean, it's protected by copyright, and please do not just screenshot it. You need to go in the site, Centro Internacional de Casos page for you to check the the case. So go in and find it, please. If you follow my instructions, you already are supposed to have it on your computer. If not, we're gonna take other 5 minutes for you to find it. All right, if you have problems, please let me know so I can show you in the computer again how to do it. If you already have it, just unmute yourself and tell me, yeah, I already have it, teacher. Let's continue.
Okay, meanwhile, I want to explain you a little about the case method in case that you haven't worked with a case. But case method is a learning methodology. I mean, it has some good practices that need to be understood. So you know what is the aim to work with methods. First of all, in methods, more important than the result is the process, okay? In many cases, and mostly in cases that are more qualitative than this, but in many cases, sometimes you can see the note that there is not a right answer, for example, because the result is not the most important part. The most important part of a case analysis is the process that you follow. And at the end, you are going to get a result and you need to justify that result, okay? And if your process is right and if you justify your results, it will be very interesting to find new ways to get to an answer, okay? So keep that in mind. I mean, we don't have like a database of answers of right and wrong, and we are not going to grade you like in an exam. This is not an exam, it's a case. So it is very important, the process. Now, about this process, how does this work? Normally, not always, because it depends about the case and on time that we have available. But in general cases, case analysis method have three stages, 3 phases. Phase 1 is the individual activity. The individual activity consists in reading the case and trying to understand what is the problem, okay? That is the first part. What is the problem? In cases normally, and sometimes ambiguity is on purpose, okay? Because in real life, you won't have a formula or somebody telling you, you're going to use this formula or you are going to find this process. No, in real life, sometimes you don't know what to do. In real life, sometimes you don't know what is the problem. You don't know what to do first, okay? You are like lost, like, okay, we have this situation, then where do I start? So that is the individual part of a case analysis. To read the case, to try to understand, and to take notes about what do you think is important. Some information is not important, so you need to have a criteria to identify what is important and what is not. And then try to understand what is the problem. Once you do that in an individual work, then you work in small groups. And that is where you are going to work mostly in small groups. When you debate and you discuss with your teammates about what is the problem and how to address that problem. And now in the small groups, you work with the solutions. What do you have to do, okay? In this course, we're going to work in this phase most of the time, okay? This is going to be the heaviest part of this course. Working in small groups, trying to work in the analysis and in the solutions. And at the end, sometimes we have these plenary sessions when we debate between small groups, but with all the groups trying to defend your own solutions, okay? But this final part sometimes is not done because it's depend on infrastructure, on time. For example, maybe working by Zoom, it's going to be a little difficult to do that. So we're going to focus more in this second phase, in working in small groups, trying to find the solutions. And you're going to present those solutions to us, to the professors. Now, of course, the point of this class is that we are going to work together, trying to find those solutions and trying to do the analysis. Okay, so you can see us, Professor Christopher and myself, as your advisors. Okay, so you work in the case and you ask us. You ask us, Professor, I didn't understand. Professor, I don't know what to do. Professor, I did that, but I'm not sure if I am doing right. So work a lot with us and have a lot of communication. We're going to work together to solve the case and to find the better solutions to this, okay?
Thank you,
Okay,
Felipe.
perfect.
Great introduction for how is the case going to be working and the methodology. So do you guys have any questions? No, you all found
No.
the problem case on the CIC page?
Yes.
Yeah, you already
Yeah,
had
we're
it?
good.
Okay, perfect. I hope you really like this case. I mean, we choose it because we think it's a little bit more down to earth and actually interesting than the other cases proposed. So please read it, give it a go. And most important about this is that you try to have, I know it's gonna sound cheesy and maybe overkill, but try to have fun with this. It's finance and accounting, yes, but it's actually pretty useful information for your daily life, and it will help you. The tools you will develop here will help you to take decisions on daily life problems, like if you want to buy a car. I mean, this case is it's built from a business and a student from Campus Guadalajara, Tec de Monterrey, problem had for his business. So it's actually something you can relate to in case you are actually in the same situation. Read the case and try to have fun learning. Okay, so I'm so that was supposed to be your homework. Well, we did it right. That's okay. So what is going to be the class dynamic? Classes are Tuesday and Fridays from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. We're going to try to finish the classes like 10 minutes before 9 because, I mean, you're supposed to prepare for the next class. The idea is for me to present about 80% of the content of the class, and then Felipe is going to help us with the most important part of the course, which is going to be risk analysis and time value of money. And also he's going to be presenting mostly on Friday classes for you guys to go to tutoring session with him in case you need, or you have any questions, you can check it with them. It's going to be like at the same time. If you want to go or not, that is just optional. You can go. As I told you, you are a privileged group because you're going to have 2 teachers, 2 professors, and one of them is going to be practically solely dedicated for you guys to answer your questions. So we hope this improve your learning experience, like tutoring more of a personal tutoring. All right, Felipe, you want to add something here?
No, thank you, Christopher. That is, everything is okay.
Okay, perfect. So if everything of that is correct, we're gonna jump into content, I believe. Let me just check. Oh no, wait, the last thing is class rules. I mean, this is our regular off the back tech Zoom classes rules. First of all, you need to get your video and Erika's, and let me raise that on the plus final credit, you know, because I was trying to do this, but I think I did that, so sorry with that.
Okay, meanwhile, I want to say something about rules. Okay, of course we have rules, but personally, if you ask me personally, I'm more a fan of principles rather than rules. I mean, I think that if we treat with respect each other, and if we try to have fun in this class and we have a good attitude, we don't need rules, okay? Those are the principles. Be respectful, treat everyone with respect, and have a good attitude, and to have fun with this class, participate, have a positive attitude, ask questions, and that's it. I mean, of course, we're going to have rules because not everybody understand, have the same concept of respect, for example. And secondly, it's because we work for an institution, okay? We are in an institution and this institution have rules. So basically, so you know them, you know these rules. We are not going to have anything strange, anything special. Maybe some things about the evaluation, about the grading that Christopher is going to tell you right now. But these rules have the intention to improve the experience, okay? So just keep that in mind. Take a look to the rules of the institutional rules of Tec de Monterrey. Take a look to the rules that you already have in Canvas, but mostly keep in mind these principles. Be respectful and try to have fun and to participate in this class.
Thank you, Philip. So that's the rules. Please, just a note, we have some activities that will get you an extra credit. These activities we will be developing in the course of the class in this month. Now, if you don't do the activities, those activities specifically, I will tell you which ones. It will not affect, like, downgrade your grade. But if you do them, you can get extra credits. Also, if you like communism and if you do the activities and you get 100, you can give your extra points to a friend. It's gonna be a fun dynamic to see how it works. So let's hope it works fine. Okay, so now we're gonna jump into content. Before we do that, do you have any questions regarding the course content, the problem situations, the evaluation we're gonna follow, something like that you want to vent right now?
Not at the moment. Thank
Okay, if
you.
you have any questions later, thank you, Brenda. If you have any questions later, please let us know. Send a message on Remind or an email and we can review it, all right?
Yeah, for sure.
Wait a second. So let's start. Before we start, and for those of you that, I mean, I think some of you already went to my classes. For those of you that didn't, first of all, we need to before we start anything, now when we are into content, we need to position ourselves in where we are gonna be learning, you know, like what is our field of learning, because finance, it's a huge field, all right? Like, I changed my tablet, so maybe this one is not that good. Anyway, so finance is a huge field. You have personal finance, you have public finance, which is government, and then you have corporate finance. And, you know, connecting all of this, you have like the financial market, you know, versatile finance. So maybe one of you saw The Wolf of Wall Street, or maybe in The Search of Happiness. Some of you have seen those movies. Well, if you saw those movies and you say, like, that's what I want to do with my life, well, what you are seeing is just versatile finance, you know, like the market in general, like how does the money move between people, business, and the government. All right.
I hope you don't want to be like the Wolf of Wall Street, but I understand the message.
If you want, I mean, we don't judge anybody. You have your own goals, guys. But if you want to be like that, or maybe in The Pursuit of Happiness, that's a more light-hearted movie. Then what you want to do is to learn how the money moves between these three things, and then generate income from those. All right, generate profit from the movement of money between personal, corporate, and public finance. Now, if we change the name of personal to, you know, to families, public to government, and corporate to use business, who of you already took economy lessons? Like microeconomics on high school, maybe on remedial, something like that. Well, if you already took those, what you are seeing now in your screen, it's the general economic cycle. Money moves from families to the government, from the government to families, from the government to corporate or business, from the business to corporate, and again from corporate to families, and families to corporate, to business. How is that? Well, business and people pay taxes, all right? Government gives services and contracts services to people and contracts to corporate, and people work with a company, they receive a wage, and corporates pay them the wage. So, and people also give money to the companies when they buy the products they invest. It's a really complex system, and we are not gonna be just diving in all the systems. What I want you guys to understand is where are we gonna be positioning ourselves. So here is where the course is going to take place, in corporate finance. This is a corporate finance course, all right? We're going to be checking some of accounting, because accounting it's the root of the databases of the information you will be reviewing, and then the decisions take place in that circle of corporate finance. For personal finance or public finance, or even market and market finance, you know, what is the name of that? Like the stock indexes and money
and
markets.
capital markets.
Thank you, Felipe. Money and capital markets. We are not gonna be reviewing nothing of that, but it doesn't mean that this doesn't have to do with finance. All right, guys. If you want to study finance administration or accounting, just learn that the field is really broad, and you can work from markets to the small business doing just consultation. All right. Right now, we're gonna just focus on corporate finance. Okay. So we're gonna go build just the learning blocks from the ground, that is accounting, and then you're gonna finish just taking decisions out of financial analysis. Okay, so as I told you, this is corporate finance, so we need to learn a bit of accounting. It's not an accounting course, so don't worry, it's not gonna be any like, maybe the first part is gonna be a little bit boring, but the idea is for you to identify some concepts and then apply them on the analysis, all right? So the first thing is accounting. What is accounting? What is accounting for you guys? Some of you have some of you taken an accounting course already, or seen accounting in other courses? I'm seeing Frida is doing like this, right? Isaac is saying, yeah, with Regina, say yes. What did you see in accounting, Frida, Isaac, and Regina? What can you share with the class?
Like how to make a balance sheet, income statement, like a bit of cash flow. But mainly in our first semester, we saw like the basic concepts of accounting.
Right. That's the same for you, Regina and Isaac. Thank you, Frida.
Yeah, it was the same class and everything.
Perfect. So all of you are supposed to have right now a base. You want to say something, Isaac, right? Isaac?
I'm okay.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So yeah, that's great. This part of the course today is just a review on accounting and the financial statements. Why? Because you need to identify them if you are going to be doing financial analysis. Okay, so thank you very much, guys. That is accounting. I am glad that you already have an introductory course. So for you, it's just gonna be a review for all of you. All right. Anyway, if you have a question and you need me to stop to explain it further, just raise your hand or talk. I can listen to you. I like to explain accounting with the Canvas, with the business model Canvas, because here in tech they use it for everything. I mean, if you go to an entrepreneurial course, you're gonna be seeing and using this model Canvas all the time, right? I mean, it's used for marketing, it's used for business development, and also it's gonna be used for accounting. And why is that? Well, if you direct your attention to the bottom line of the screen, of that square there, of the canvas, you will find two big rectangles: cost structure and revenue streams. Those are the business numbers, and if you need to put a technical name on them, those are the financial statements. All right, accounting builds those two concepts on the business model Canvas. And I remember when I was studying there, and we used to see this on the, as I told you, business development class or marketing classes, which is most of the time where you want to see it. I remember the cost structure and revenue streams was just like overlooked, you know. It was just like, yeah, there you put the money you're gonna be charging, and there you put the money you're gonna be spending, and that's it, you know. And you were like, okay, thank you very much, and then you spend the rest of the 2-hour class checking what value proposition was. There is nothing wrong with that, because it was a business development course and marketing courses. The problem is that once you go outside and you start working on a company, then you kind of miss the focus of what a business is supposed to do. what you guys think is the purpose of a business, of any corporation in the world?
Well, to be profitable.
To be profitable. Good, Nayeli. Who else wants to say something?
To provide services and goods.
Provide services. That's a good idea. Yeah. Remember, we're in finance, so we're gonna be showing our greedy colors here. So even though Carla says something correct, I mean that's correct. That's one of the purposes of a company. The main core purpose when you are working on finance and when you are seeing a business from a finance perspective is what Nayeli just said. A business is started to generate profits. All right, you put a business because you want money, and that money comes from the revenue streams and the cost structure. All right. Yeah, if you change the value proposition and if you change the products and services, as Carla was saying, that you are going to be providing for the market, you are going to be just changing the world and everything is right and everything's fine and right with that. But when you are seeing the business from a finance perspective, you have to evaluate it as a profit, as a money-making machine, all right? As an investment. That's why we're going to be giving it an investment look to a business decision inside the business. So for you guys, choosing a finance or accounting path in your professional careers, these two rectangles inside the business model canvas cannot be overlooked. You need to go deep into them because that is the core of all of your professional career. Analyzing the numbers to generate more profit, just as Nayeli just said. All right?
Look, Christopher, I want to make a parenthesis here. Now, it is true that right now we have these new ways to do business in a more conscious way, in a more responsible way. Don't get the wrong idea, okay? That is good. That is good. The point is that finance it's very important. I mean, we cannot overlook finance because even if you're in non-profit, you need to have a financial sustainability. Okay, a business needs to preserve and to grow and to continue working. And if you don't manage your finance well, that will be impossible, okay? Because at the end, finance is like the oxygen of a business, okay? So if you don't have resources to work, this venture, even if this is non-profit, it is going to disappear, okay? So we need to have that in mind, that we need oxygen and we need resources to work. So, of course, if we are in a lucrative business with more reasons, because as Christopher, the Professor Christopher already told you, if you start a business, you are not thinking to be poorer, okay? You are not thinking about losing money. You are thinking that you want to grow and that you want to have an income and that you want to increase your wealth. For that matter, finance is the key, okay? It is the focus of a business. But yes, I mean, I want just to round this idea that right now, I think also that it is necessary that the pursuit of these profits has to be responsible, okay? Has to be with conscience, but at the end, it is a pursuit of profits, okay?
Yes, thank you, Felipe. Just as he said, Felipe just told you, yes, doing business in an ethical manner is really important. I'm not overstating that. Thank you for clarifying it. What I'm just saying, you guys, is remember, if you put a business, if you start a business, you start a business to generate profits. Just as Nelly said, the main objective of a business from the finance perspective is you need to generate profit. And it's just a game of competence. If you don't generate as much profit as the competition or even more, then you're going to be out of the game. So it's just like if you're playing Monopoly, you need to beat up the competition and you beat it with generation of profits. You cannot improve something that you cannot measure. That's just a rule for automatization process. And inside a business, in the finance perspective, if you cannot measure how much money you are making or how much money you are losing, then you cannot perfect it. All right, you're gonna be just creating business, and nothing's gonna improve for you. For example, I have a consulting business. I have 150 clients ish right now, and we build their accounting, and then we give them tax, legal, and finance advice to all those clients. And let me tell you something that I have noticed on all these courses I have given, like the thousands of hours of tutoring I have given to this real life business. And this is the thing: when you are a business founder and your mind, your sole purpose for the business is dedicated to the product, you know, like how I gonna take this product out, and you leave out income, revenue streams, or cost structure out, your business is going to fail. I mean, I have seen that a lot of times. They start a business, they have this great product idea, they just start getting money from fools, family, and friends, you know, they just ask their parents, their friends, their brothers and sisters, siblings. They get the money, maybe they get also a bank loan. I've seen that as well, or they finance their business with a credit card. They start a business, and then 2, 3, 5, 6 months later, they just realize it wasn't there. They are not generating money, and just the business disappear. I also do, as pro bono, I do consultation for non-profit organizations. Just as Felipe was saying right now, it's also important for non-profit organizations to have a right and structure revenue and cost, revenue stream and cost structure. It's important for that to be really measurable, because if you don't have that, you cannot help people, because your non-profit is going to disappear. We have one non-profit, for example, that is in Oaxaca, and it started in 2017 after the earthquake there. And these girls are actually from Campus Querétaro, and they left everything in Querétaro to go to Oaxaca and start a non-profit. And they just realized that they needed to start a business for profit to keep the non-profit organization. And what they are doing right now is they are selling jam, you know, fruit. Like in Oaxaca, you have a ton of fruit trees. And what they are doing now, because they are food engineers, they are developing systems for the communities there in Oaxaca to fabricate, to produce jam and just sell it through Mexico, with the idea of, we are a non-profit, we need your money, we need money for keep helping these people. And they are starting a cooperative, and everything is actually turning out for them really nice, because they are approaching the non-profit problem with a profit mindset. You know, you need to start a business thinking that it needs to generate money in order for the business to keep rolling, all right, to keep the ball rolling. That's why it's important, and that's why we're going to be reviewing a bit of accounting this class, so the next classes we just start with the right foot. Now, as this is supposed to be an introductory course, I'm not going to go too into deep. I just want you to know that these things exist, because if you decide to be an accountant later, you will be reviewing these things more into detail, these concepts into detail, and these norms into detail in later courses. So right now, I just want you to know that these things exist, because when you start seeing them later, you know that, okay, I saw that before, and now I can just go into more, go deeply into the knowledge, all right? So what is accounting? Well, first of all, let's just position ourselves in where does accounting come from. Now, we already say that accounting is the measure of the cost structure and the revenue stream on a business, but the way I measure my income, and maybe the way you all guys measure your income in a business, can be different, all right? We all have this creativity and imagination to generate pretty Excel tables in our Excel sheet, and just say, I mean, I'm gonna be counting my income this way, and then I'm gonna be just subtracting all the expenses I have this way, and maybe the way I do it is different from the way Frida does it, or Nayeli does it, or Regina, Andres, Brenda. Those are the guys I'm seeing on the screen over. Maybe it's different from all of us, how we just measure the money coming in and out of our company. That's a problem, because there are millions of companies in the world, and if that happens, then you cannot do a structural measure of profits, and then you cannot take decisions, because you cannot compare the companies among them. So what happened? I mean, what has happened up to now is that before, like maybe 20 years ago, every country has had its own laws and norms to construct and build accounting and financial information, you know. Mexico built its financial information different than the financial information built in Spain and in Colombia, even though those three are Hispanic-speaking countries. And of course, the financial information generated in the United States was different than the financial information generated in the United Kingdom, and also financial information generated in Australia, because even though those are English-speaking countries, the information was different because everyone measures its financial information and structure different, and the laws change between countries. So about 20 years ago, this idea of generating a global financial structure came into mind, and the international norms and the reporting standards structure, the IFRS, started taking more and more weight in business reporting. And why is it important that the information structure for profits is structured between countries and with the laws? Well, because taxes come from that structure. You tell, with the financial information, you tell the government how much money you are making, and of course, the government, once it's cut, the tax, and the financial information must be accepted from the government and from the corporation, because of course, I can just measure different my income and my cost structure and maybe never show a taxable profit. And the government will not like that. They will want me to show a taxable profit every single period for me to pay taxes. So it was like a play of forces, you know, if you will, from the private sector and the government sector. And at the end, all this well, structure of norms was born. Here in Mexico, it's in Spanish is Normas Internacionales de Información Financiera. The English is International Norms Reporting Standard Structure. IFRS stands for International Financial Reporting Standards. The idea is the same. It's that all the world must have the same international reporting standards. In Mexico, as I told you, it exists as NIF, and it's the CINIF, the Consejo Mexicano para la Investigación y Desarrollo de Normas de Información Financiera, the institution dedicated to follow and structure these norms. And well, it's a non-profit organization, actually. It's dedicated for the measure of profits, but it's a non-profit. It's not a government organization. And as I told you, these are the guys that say, this is the way you measure your profits. This is the way you measure your costs. All right? So just the idea is for you to just grasp this idea is what are the different information, like the different information standards that exist. So our teacher or Professor Felipe is gonna leave now. Thank you very much, Felipe, for being in this part of the course. We're gonna see him back on Friday. And see you later.
See you on Friday. So I didn't want to interrupt, but okay. Thank you. Bye-bye, and see you on Friday. You're in good hands.
Thank you.
Bye. I have a quick question. Seeing it as it is no, for you, or seeing as this is a non-profit organization, how do they have like legal control? For example, if they see that an organization or that a company is not following these standards, how do they have like dominance in that area?
Well, that's actually a really good question. It depends on the country. Here in Mexico, there is a law that regulates non-profit organizations. It's actually embedded inside the tax law, like the revenue, like the what is the well, the name in Spanish is Ley del Impuesto sobre la Renta. That's the revenue tax law. All right. So inside the revenue tax law, there are certain articles that you have to follow if you are a non-profit organization. To become one here in Mexico, you need to be you need to have a registration that the Internal Revenue Service in Mexico gives you, the SAT, and then they review you every year for you. I mean, to make sure that you're actually following the non-profit characteristics of your organization. For example, the non-profit I was just telling you guys about in Oaxaca, they started in 2017, and they started as a profit organization because getting one of those registers in the Internal Revenue Service is not easy. And they spent 3 years as a profit organization. Even though they were receiving donations, they had to present their tax forms as for profit and pay taxes because they didn't have the permission to do it. And the SAT, you know, the revenue service here in Mexico was just reviewing to see if they were for profit or non-profit, mostly also because the government changed and the perspective, I mean, the view the government has right now from the ONGs is that they are all for profit. You know, it's just money laundering. That's what that's like the official stands for non-profits. It's a non-profits and money laundering. So just to try to focus more on the question you were saying, Brenda, the way these non-profits are controlled, it's by laws and also by standards, because also the International Financial Reporting Standards and the NIF here in Mexico tell you how you are supposed to report your activities when you are a non-profit. All right, even though you are supposed to not be generating profit, you can have like an activity, a positive activity result. That's it. That's how it's called. Like a negative activity result for a non-profit, it's loss for a profit organization. And a profit, a net profit, a positive net profit for an organization is a positive activity result. And that is also regulated in the financial norms. All right, Brenda? And it's regulated by the norms for you to represent your financial statements, and it's regulated by the law. For every country, the United States also has its own law, and it regulates its own ONGs differently. And the idea is for all of these ONGs to be in line with criteria dictated by the OCDE, you know, the OCDE, the Organization for Development. In Mexico is part of that organization. And for all the ONGs in the world, or for the countries that are part of the OCDE, to have the same structure. That's the way how it's structured, by norms and by laws, and are dependent from the country. Did I answer your question, Brenda, or just got you more confused?
No, that's perfect. Thank you.
I don't know if you want, maybe you're asking this because you have like this bug that you want to start a non-profit. And let me tell you, it is possible, as I told you. I mean, I remember when I was a student, you know, they used to tell us, you can start non-profits, help the world and everything. And I'm an accountant. I would say like, nah, I don't think that's possible. I mean, who's going to be giving you money for just helping people? I mean, I don't want for you guys to think that I'm just like a capitalist pig or something. It's just like, I'm an accountant. I see numbers all the time. So things are pretty white or black for me. So I will think this, you know, like non-profits are impossible to make, because how the hell are people going to be giving you money like forever? And I can tell you now, this company, I advise to non-profits, one here in Querétaro and one in Oaxaca. And I can tell you this, it's impressive. Like when people want to help, they really, really give you like a lot of donations, and there is a lot of opportunity for ONGs to grow. So if you have this idea, Brenda, that you want to start an ONG, I can tell you, and anyone actually listening in the class, if you want to start an ONG, it is possible. I've seen it. I mean, maybe I'm like a bit skeptical if I haven't seen something, but I can tell you now, I've seen them work. I've seen donation being like just the money pouring inside the bank statement, and I've seen all the structure, the legal structure behind it. And I can tell you, it is possible. You can start a non-profit here in Mexico, and you can grow it to a big non-profit organization. So good that you have that in your heart, Brenda, that you want to start.
Thank you.
By the way, what you are watching now on your screen, it's the world according to financial information. In dark blue, you see all the financial statements that share at least a bit, like 80% of the financial international statements. Why not all the countries just fall in line 100% with the international financial statement information? Well, because as I told you, profits are the way business pay taxes to the government. So if we just, as Mexico, accepted the way, I don't know, Spain calculated profits, we just wouldn't have the control over our tax system, you see? So all the countries decided that they will just fall into line for the financial information standard, we just up to some degree, you know? For example, here in Mexico, there is something that is called inflation effect. That it doesn't happen in the United States, doesn't exist there in the financial information. But here in Mexico, if you reach certain point of inflation, you are supposed, as a financial professional, to show the effect of inflation inside your balance sheet and also your income statement and your cash flow. I work in the United States. I was there, a financial professional there, and a cost accountant. And I remember when we tried to reconcile is take the financial information from one country, take the financial information from the headquarters country, and just make a huge financial statement for all those countries together. That happens with transnationals a lot. And I was in charge of consolidation of all Latin America statements. And I remember when we tried to consolidate that information with the United States information, it was just a mess, you know? I mean, the information from Colombia was extremely different than the information from Mexico. And the information from Mexico and Colombia was also like, you know, maybe we will have to do a lot of changes because the United States didn't take into consideration some inflation issues that here in Latin America are really common, most in South America, because, for example, here in Mexico, the inflation effects that you have to put inside your financial statements had not been, I mean, we haven't presented, I mean, not me because I wasn't even studying anything there, but it hasn't been presented as recurrent on financial information since 1997. You know, since 1997, inflation hasn't hit our country like to be considered an inflationary economy. It's been just a boring country, you know, just always 2% inflation from like almost 20 years. And just people have started to take that for granted when in Argentina, Colombia, Venezuela, Ecuador, the statements I used to reconcile from Ecuador, even though they have a dollarized economy, they have huge inflation and they have to show that in the financial statements. So that's really interesting. What all comes about for you guys is that information, it's financial information must follow a standard, and that standard is shared among the world. As I was telling you here in your screen, you can see all the dark blue countries are the statements that you kind of can compare. You know, if you take a statement from an American company and you take a statement from a Mexican company, you want to find a few differences, but at the end, they're going to be exactly the same if you are looking at statements in the market, in their money market value, you know, for indexes, for the Standard & Poor's United States companies and the IPC here in Mexico companies, you can compare those companies and take decisions based on the financial information. I just got stuck. Okay, so what happens with the accountant? Why do we need accountants? Well, most of the work of an accountant can be replaced. I can tell you that because I do that in my business. Most of the work done by an accountant, like what is that in Spanish is called arrastrar el lápiz. Most of the regular work done by accountants that just require data entry and construction of financial statements can be automated. Robots are taking that. You know, somewhere artificial intelligence is way on his way to take like the auxiliary job, you know, of data entry and just building blocks of financial information. Tech knows that, and maybe you're wondering, well, if tech knows that, why is there still a career on accounting here in tech, the one I studied? Well, the thing is that they have been changing that, the focus of the accounting career since 2011 here at Tech. The idea now is that the accountant can recognize that information and take business decisions based on that information. What does that mean? It means that the technique of accounting of classifying, registering, and summarizing information of financial operation and monetary terms can be converted into a database that will be account like that. Up to here will be all of this. Like, well, not that, sorry. Like, from this you will have accounting, like financial statements, you know, financial statements. This will be accounting. The things we were just reviewing a few minutes ago. This is, I mean, I changed my tablet to a smaller one because I thought it would be better, but I think it sucks, so I'm gonna try to erase this, sorry. Okay, now that is accounting. As I was telling you, the work for an accountant, that part when you see the line to the left is being overtaken more and more by artificial intelligence. So don't worry if you don't rightly understand accounting, you don't need to do it anymore. What you need to do is understand how accounting shows you the reality of the business to take business decisions. Now, accountants are starting to take a more active role inside organizations now than ever, even though artificial intelligence is taking like the base accounting job. Why do you guys think that is happening? Why will be the financial professional like vice president of finance and accountants in big corporations are starting to take more and more decision-making process inside functions inside an organization now than ever? Not an idea?
I think I know.
What is it?
Maybe it's because they have always been dealing with a large amount of information, and then since they're used to manipulating large amounts of data and numbers in the world that we live in today, they now have uh, the convenience to start developing this data analysis and converting it into real world applications and taking strategic decisions based on that.
Thank you, Alejandro. That is correctly. Actually, it's not something I say. There are studies. Thank you very much, Alejandro. There are studies actually showing this trend. The thing is that right now we live in a data-filled world. You know, now the most important asset for corporations is the data they can gather, and the ones that are actually used to see that data and take decisions based on big chunks of data, just as Alejandro was saying, are accountants. This is one of the activities I told you at the beginning of the class that you can do to take an extra credit. The activity is that you read the material on Canvas about the role of the CFO. I'm sorry, the CFO is the Chief Financial Officer in a company. Chief Financial Officers are actually like the last job an accountant can have if he wants to follow the corporate structure inside a business. I want you to, again, this is an optional activity. If you don't want to do it, don't worry, it will not affect your grade. If you want to do it and you do it right, it will get you an extra credit. Now, this does not affect as this activity doesn't downgrade your grade, I'm gonna be just, it's gonna be completely up to me to give you or not the extra credit. So this is what I want you to do. If you want to get this extra credit, this is a final extra credit. You go to Canvas, you'll find this activity, Mackenzie Special Collection, the role of the CFO. It's a long document, so again, it's optional only if you want to do it. I want you to read the document and then to answer this question in the forum. What do you think is the value a CFO adds to a business? All right? Do it. If you want to do it right. Read it to heart, and then just do a comment that what you really think is the role of a CFO inside a company. All right? Again, it's not a mandatory activity. If you do it and you do it right, and I think you are actually taking into consideration all the document and you did it at heart, then I will give you the extra credit. And if you get 100 in this class, you can choose to pass that extra credit to one of your friends. Okay, so that's the importance of accounting. The ones who want to do the activity, it will also help you in case you are considering a career on finance. It will help you start your career in further. If you are considering a career on finance and after reading that report, you just go, no, man, this is not for me. It will also help you because it will help you better choose your career going further. And if you are thinking that maybe numbers are and taking financial decisions are like something that you want to do, and you read the report and you finalize, I mean, after you read the report and fill up the forum, you think this is something I really like, also will be a game for you, because you remember the idea of Tech 21 is for you to have all these 3 semesters, like different paths for you to choose, like what to follow in your professional career. So this is one of the activities designed for you to think if you would like to be an accountant or a financial administrator, one of those 2 careers. So if you are thinking that maybe you want to do it, I highly recommend you to do this activity. If it's something that you don't like, you know, you're just taking this course because you have to, because it's in your curriculum and you need to fill the space, don't bother, guys, because you're not gonna take the advantage of the activity, and maybe you wouldn't even get the extra credit. Any question about this?
Yes. When is the deadline?
I think I didn't put it. I'm gonna put it like to next Friday, so you're gonna have 2 weeks because it's a long document.
Okay.
And again, remember, it's not a mandatory activity, so this one I can be a little bit flexible about it. But I think I'm gonna put it to next Friday as deadline. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, now we see like the introduction to accounting. Now we need to review the financial statements. There are 5 financial basic statements that you will find in the IFRS norms and also the US GAAPs. These are the 5 financial statements: income statements, balance sheet, cash flow, change in equity statement, and notes to the financial statements. I believe, well, it doesn't matter. I used to work, when I work in the United States, I used to work as the financial, inside the company, I used to work as the financial auditor for the financial statement for mergers and acquisitions. And I was in charge for the cost structure inside the income statement and the CapEx investment inside the balance sheet. I mean, inside the balance sheet and the cash flow. Then you may be thinking, what is that? Well, it means that for all the accounts inside the income statement, I was in charge of one. And for all the accounts inside the balance sheet and the cash flow, I was in charge of two each. When the companies are that big, they hire people just to focus on certain aspects of the business. And I was focused on cost. I was a cost accountant mostly. And I can tell you for experience that these two here, the changes in equity and also the financial statements, you will just see them in auditing. If you decide to follow an accounting career and you go into audit, then you will do changes in equity statement and not to the financial statement. Otherwise, it's highly unlikely that you will ever see them, even though you choose to be an accountant or financial administrator. So these two, I'm just telling you for you to know that they exist, but the ones that you're gonna be seeing like all the time are the income statement, balance sheet, and cash flow. And let me tell you from now, the balance sheet, you're just gonna see it once in a while, maybe twice a year. It's not that the information it shows you is really slow and the world is moving too fast. So the two statements you're gonna be checking, like maybe even daily if you can, are cash flow, a balance, income statement, sorry, and cash flow. Those two are really important. So if you manage to identify and actually understand those two statements, even only income statement, you are set to go as a business professional, not as a financial professional, because as a financial professional, you need to not only understand and identify them, you need to learn how to make them. But if you just want to be in a career in business, in marketing or international trade or business development or management, for you to know what the income statement is, how it works, and how it helps you to measure the information in the organization, and the cash flow and how it relates to the organization, that's more than enough. All right. So in order for you guys to find, and I mean, in order for you guys to actually clearly identify those statements, we're going to see them as questions. There are 5 questions then that we're going to be reviewing, or you are going to be thinking of yourself when you see financial information. When you see the income statement, you're going to be thinking how much profit or losses I generate as a company. All right. Think of it as if you start a business and before you actually start cashing checks, you plan your business and you say, I think I'm going to be selling this amount of goods, and I think I'm going to be spending this cost, and I think I'm going to be paying these services. And the profit you just generated with that addition, subtraction, that's the profit you're going to be showing for your company, and that's your income statement. How much profit you're going to be making, or even if you are doing all this projection and you realize that you're going to be losing money, that is also part of the income statement. It doesn't mean that you have the money, like you cash the checks already. It just means that you have certain on the expenses, on the cost, and also on the revenue stream. All right. That is really important distinction, because income statement and cash flow are quite similar. The difference is that cash flow is money going in and out the bank account. In the income statement, not the sales registered in the income statement at the first line don't necessarily show you the money you are receiving, because you can have sales on credit. Also, the expenses shown in the financial statement of income statement do not necessarily show the expenses being incurred by the business, because you can have expenses on credit. What does that mean? It means that you, for example, I have this business, we are analyzing now. They are a small factory of sauce, of jam, sauce, and what is they do? It's basically just jam, like regular jam you put on a bread, and sauce for tacos, and for spaghetti also they have tomato sauce. And it's a business that they have their sauce jars and their jam jars, and they take them to H-E-B and to Walmart, and they sell them there, and they have sales in credit. They give the product to these big corporations, and then they have 90 days to collect the payment. But the money, but the sale is registered in the income statement in the moment give the product to the business, because then in that moment it exists like an obligation for Walmart to pay this business for the sauce they're going to be selling during those 90 days. But it doesn't mean that they already collected the money, because the bank statement is empty, you know. They haven't they don't collect the money right away, but they can show in the income statement that they already made the sale. So that distinction is really important for you guys to understand. In the income statement, not always you will find the cash going inside or outside the business. What you will find there are the revenue streams or the cost structure and expenses that you are expecting to generate in that period that you already generated, or that you already generated in previous periods. I hope this, I mean, I'm trying to be as explicit as I can, because it's really important for you guys to understand the difference between income statement and cash flow. So if you have any questions, please interrupt me and I will explain it again. The second question is the balance sheet. The balance sheet is how much money and stuff you have. The balance sheet is how much you have of something inside a business. It will show you the value of the machinery. It will show you the value of the buildings you have. It will show you the money you have in the bank account. But it will not show you the movement of those fluxes, like really every month or every week, like the income statement could. It will just show you like the changes of the money and stuff you have every year. That's the main difference between the income statement and the balance sheet, is that the balance sheet moves every year or maybe every 6 months, because you are not buying equipment or buildings every month, all right? So it's a really slow statement. Then you have the cash flow. The cash flow is how much money I generate or I spend. And here is money, you know, peso by peso, dollar by dollar. In the cash flow, you see the money going in and outside the company, in and outside the bank statement. What are the ways you can have money inside the bank statement, and you can have, what are the ways you can have money inside the bank statement and the ways you can just spend money? Well, maybe you contract a loan, you know, a credit line with the bank. That credit line will give you cash. And now that credit line doesn't mean that you are actually selling something. What it means is that you are getting cash from somewhere. All right, and the cash flow will show you that. It will separate the cash streams by activities, but the idea is that the cash flow will show you the money going inside and now the company, real cash, you know, peso by peso, dollar by dollar. The income statement, however, can show you a type of cash flow if your business is cash-based. But there is always a fundamental difference, distinction between these two, and that is that the income statement can show you non-cash activities, all right? For example, depreciation, it's a recognition of an expense of an asset in time. We will see depreciation more in detail, so don't worry, you don't understand it now. What I want you to understand is this. In the income statement, you can find depreciation, which is not an expense with cash effect. What does that mean? It means that money does not go out from the bank statement when you recognize depreciation as an expense. So depreciation is not present in the cash flow statement, because cash flow statement is how much money you generate or spend. Then you have these two, the change in equity and notes to the financial statements. The change in equity is who owns the business, and the financial statement notes at side notes. And that's why you mostly don't see them in day-to-day operating decisions, because who owns the business, that's just something that shareholders and government needs interested. And side notes is when something really strange happens in a fiscal period and you need to disclose that to the shareholders and the government. So don't worry about those two. If you want to be an accountant later in your professional life, you will learn how to make those. Right now, it doesn't matter. Just note that they exist. All right? Okay, income statement. Again, this is just for you to review and note that if you have this for you to review that income statement income statement has a norm dictating how you have to build the income statement. For Mexico is the NIF B3, and for the international statements is the IAS 1. All right, now don't worry too much about the explanation I want to share with you. I will share with you these slides so you can review them more in detail. Right now, I'm just going to explain you what is the income statement, all right? The income statement will show you how much profit or losses you generate in your business. It's just a subtraction. You remember when you I mean, the first math you ever learned was addition subtraction, right? You have 10 plus 10, you know, this is what, 20. And then you have subtraction. 10 minus 10, that's 0, all right? So the income statement is just a subtraction, like that. It's that easy. The difference is that maybe this 10 is separated in cost and it's separated in expenses. And also it's separated in interest and it's separated on tax. That's the difference. Just a simple subtraction, but it has different lines. And this is the basic general idea of an income statement. You have the sales, which is the revenue streams you are expecting to generate from that product or service you're serving. Then you have the cost of goods sales, which is the money you spend on whatever the hell you are doing. That's the money you are actually investing inside the thing you are selling. It's not the money you are using to administrate and manage your business. For example, if you have a business of, let's say, bread, a bakery. You have a bakery, right? And you like cake, so you put a bakery, and now you want to sell cakes. Well, the cost of goods sold, the cost of goods sale, I'm sorry, will be all the money you spend on the eggs, flour, butter, all the ingredients you need to make cakes inside the bakery will be your cost. It's an important distinction because what is the difference between cost and expenses, general expenses, which is the next line? Well, general expenses or operational expenses it's the money that you spend administrating and managing your business, all right? It's the money you pay for marketing analysis, for legal fees, for accounting expenses. That's the money you spend on administrating the entity, all right? On managing the entity, I'm sorry. And it's different from cost because you are not expecting to generate more money from those expenses, okay? Those expenses are most of the time fixed. You know, you always pay the same rent for your office because it doesn't matter if it's too big or too small. It doesn't have to do with sales. But cost of goods sold can move with sales, all right? Because if you sell more cakes, then you need more butter or more eggs, okay? So, of course, if you need more eggs, it will cost you more money and the cost of goods sold will increase. That's the main difference between cost and expenses. And what is important for you to know that difference? Well, if you are about to take a business decision and you see that your business is losing money, what do you cut first? Cost or expenses? It's a question for all of you guys.
Expenses.
Why is it, Lali? Why would you cost expenses first and not cost?
Because your cost, well, I think that it's more difficult to cut your cost because it's how you can keep producing or something.
Exactly. Thank you, Citlali. Because if you cut your costs down before you cut your expenses, what you are actually doing right there is you are limiting your ability to generate more money, more revenue streams. So you don't cut costs first, you cut expenses, and then you work from the bottom up. If you are not generating money, you work from the bottom up. Sorry. I don't want to use this anymore. Anyway, if you don't want to cut costs, I mean, if you need to cut expenses in your business because you are losing money, you start with expenses, operational expenses, because those are expenses that you can later recover in case you are losing money now. You can always change to a smaller office to a smaller office, or you can just fire the accountant and just learn how to do your taxes yourself, you know? When you are trying to save money, the first thing you do is you cut expenses. Then, and if only if you have to, then you cut cost. And if you have to cut costs, it means that the business as you envision it, and like in general, is not working. And you need to go back to the drawing board and redesign the whole thing because it's not generating money from the income from the cost side of the business. And if it's not generating money from the cost side of the business, it's just, I mean, you need to reconsider your business. After you subtract the operational expenses, you have EBITDA. EBITDA is earnings before income, interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Is really an American word. It's like the basis for analysis. What is the basis for analysis? Because later on, when you subtract, when you apply the time value of money inside those cash flows, you know, for the net present value analysis that we will see later on the course, well, then there you subtract taxes, interest, and depreciation. So you need to take those off so you can work and non-subtract them twice. I will explain this further. The thing is that know that EBITDA, it's a field inside the income statement, and that is widely used for financial professionals to do analysis of financial statements. After EBITDA, you have tax, and then you have the business profit. As I told you, it's just a subtraction, and this is the general idea of the subtraction. The thing that you are watching now on your screen is the consolidated income statement, statements of operation for Amazon. All right, and let's just see it, like try to apply this general idea inside the income statement for Amazon, so you can see it's the same for every business. Now, at the top of this, you have, let me see what time is it. Okay, at the top of this, you have sales, which is this. Then you have operational expenses and operational income. Inside operational expenses, because they are put in here, you have the cost of sales, and then you have all the external income. This is a statement that is presented inside for the Standard & Poor's, for the market values, for the markets, for the money market. So that's why it's really summarized. The thing is that it shows you exactly the same things that I was talking about. You have the cost of sales, and then you have operational expenses, and then you have all these other expenses that are just dedicated for the value of money, which is interest income, interest expenses, and taxes. But if you see it right now, like general view of the financial statement, of the income statement, it's just a subtraction, and it's the same as this, all right? It's just sales minus cost minus expenses minus taxes, profit or loss, okay? Do you guys have a question of this, for this one? No?
No.
We are not gonna see this on detail, because balance sheet and balance sheet is not gonna be like the core of our course. But you will need to see the balance sheet in some part of the course for the cash flow. So you need to identify. The balance sheet is, again, the money that you have and the stuff that you have. You can find like the technical information in this. For international financial statements rules is the IAS 1 and the IAS 16. And for the Mexican financial information is the B6. This is just informative if you need to know. Again, I will share with you the presentation so you can review it in case you want. For right now, the thing that you need to know is that the balance sheet is it's the business, all right? It's what you have in the business and the money you are using moving inside the business. And it follows the general accounting principle that assets are equal to liabilities and equity. What are liabilities? Well, if you already had accounting in Spanish, liabilities are pasivos, and equity is capital, and assets is activos, all right? So activo igual a pasivo más capital, it's assets equal to liabilities plus equity. What does that mean? It means that assets are all the money you have, all the money and the stuff you have, you know, buildings, machinery, and money in the bank statement. And liabilities are the loans and credits you use to get that stuff, to buy that machinery, to have that money in the bank statement. And also, well, equity is the money that you got for free. And I use free because the equity, the capital you get investing in the money, it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that you are never going to give it back, but it does have like that degree of uncertainty because you are not obliged to give it back to the investor. You can be the investor and you put the money as investment in the business and you are expecting a return, but you are not, you don't have any obligation to give back the money as a business because that is equity. It's part of the business it's part of the business money that will be moving. And also in equity, you put the money that you lost or you generate. In the balance sheet, you will find the investments you are doing in assets, the CapEx, capital expenditure. The money you are investing in new machinery, new equipment, new buildings, you will find it in the balance sheet more specifically on the asset side of the balance sheet. That is important because we will see something related with CapEx later in the course. So it's important that you know where to find the investment made on assets in the business. And that is the balance sheet inside the assets. You have any question, guys? No? All right. This is the balance sheet again. And as I told you, the general rule is here. Assets is equal to liabilities. Liabilities and here. Yeah, liabilities and here. Liabilities plus equity. And here you have the stock issue for Amazon, you know? So the addition of these two gives you the assets. Why? Because with this, all of this, you pay for this. This is the money you use to buy all this stuff. And I always draw, this is supposed to be a house. I always draw a house here because buildings, you know? So the money you use to buy your buildings come from liability and from equity. That's why they have to be the same, all right? One is the thing and the other is the value of the thing. Then you have the cash flow, and cash flow comes the norm that you will, where you will find cash flow for the Mexican side is the NIF B2, and for the international financial reporting standard is the IAS number 7. Again, it's there just in case you want to review it. What is the cash? Well, cash is the national or foreign monetary value. It's the money coming in inside the cash, the bank statement. All right, that's basically the cash flow. It's the balance, is the bank statement. I'm sorry, the cash flow is the bank statement, just organized in a way that you can use to analyze it. How do you organize the cash flow? Well, you organize the inputs and outputs of the cash flow in 3 major flows: operating cash flow, investing cash flow, and financing cash flow. All right, it's the money you generate or spend on those 3 things. It is important. Why? Because you will take operational decisions, investing decisions, or financing decisions inside the business. So you are interested in seeing what is the generation or lose, the generate or lost money on those three flows. That's why it's separated like that. I'm gonna just, this is fast because don't worry, next class we will dive now deep inside the cash flow because you need to learn how to build a cash flow in this course. That's the basis. We're gonna be reviewing all the risk analysis, sensitivity analysis, and time value of money will be based on cash flow, on cash generated resources for the company. So this one, we will look a little bit more into deep, but right now it's just for you to know that the cash flow exists in this class, and it's separated in 3 main flows: operating, investing, and financing. And the basic structure is this: you have money coming in and out from operating activities. This means the money that you generate in the business, selling stuff and buying stuff to sell. Then you have the money coming in and out the company for investment activities. That's the money you use to buy assets, you know, machinery, buildings, cars, all that kind of stuff. Assets, and also the money you get by selling those assets. In case you want to sell a machine, that cash flow that comes inside the bank statement, you put it in the cash flow from investment activities because it's not an operation that you do. And the last one is financial activities, and that's the money not generated, sorry, that's the money you get from loans and the money you lose when you pay loans. All right, when you ask for a credit line with the bank gives you the money, you know, 500,000 pesos. Gives you the money, that's an input for financial activities. And when you pay back the credit, that's an outflow for financial activities. Again, cash flow is the money coming in and out the bank statement, and it's separated in the 3 ways the money can come in or can go out inside your bank statement. At the end, you have the cash generated in the business. Well, don't worry. We're gonna check this in the next class more into depth. So don't worry if you're not grasping it right now. We're gonna check it on Friday, so don't worry. There are 2 methods to generate the cash flow: indirect method and a direct method. This is the one that is mostly used in the industry. So this is the one we're gonna be using to generate our cash flow for the problem case scenario. This again, a cash flow for Amazon, and again, I'm telling you, this is the information you will use this is the information you're gonna use. The information you're gonna be building here to solve the problem case is the same information you will find outside in case you want to follow a career on finance, corporate finance. And again, the cash is separated on operating activities. Then you have in operating assets, then you have investing activities here, and then you have financing activities here. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 types of cash flows, and that's the thing you're gonna be. I mean, it's not gonna be as complicated as it. Remember, this is Amazon, like $1 trillion company. So just for you to know that the information you're gonna be learning here, the procedures you're gonna be learning here are the same procedures that are applied to huge corporations, and you can apply that knowledge and those procedures and capabilities inside a small business. We're not gonna be doing the next activity, so ignore it because we don't have time. Just gonna tell you, Jogome, it's a business. Well, was a business. It was the first startup, the first Mexican startup to receive funding from capital seed fund in Silicon Valley. They used to make games for small children, for mobile apps, you know, for iPad, for tablets, and for phones. They will make their games, and they will claim that their business was a multi-million-dollar endeavor. And they actually, they were, sadly, they were Exatex, and they actually generated a lot of movement. They got like, I think $1 million. Well, no, more than that. They sold the first fund to invest on them was 500 Startup. That's an American firm. And then they sold that to a big venture capital in the US. They generated a lot of money in investment and was the first startup to ever get the attention of an international fund, of an international venture capital in the US. Sadly, they were just lying with their financial statement. They would just edit the financial statement and show those statements to the shareholders. They will lie about the sales numbers. They will lie about the cost structure. They will lie about the asset management and the cash flow the money was, the business was generating. And they actually raised $27 million, not pesos, dollars. For that's a lot of money for an early startup here in Mexico. Actually, I think no other startup in Mexico has raised that much private venture money. And one of the main reasons is this, because 2 years ago, it was just discovered that Jogome was a big fraud. These two guys are the founders. They disappear. I mean, they are just fugitive of the law right now. And all of this happened because they lied in the financial information they were presenting. But I want you to think about this for a moment. They were able to trick everyone like for 5 years and raise $27 million because they were presenting funny financial statements. And what I think is more impressive about all of this is that they trick everyone. I mean, people that are supposed to have like a strong financial backgrounds will see those statements and say, yep, that is correct. Here, have another $1 million, you know? So guys, it's really important for you to understand the financial informations so you don't take bad investment decisions. This is a bad investment decision from the venture capitalist funds. They saw the company, they just blindly believed the information they were being presented, and then they took the decision of investing on this company, and it turned out to be a fraud. That's Jogome. If you want to read more about it, it's really interesting, the case. Again, I told you they are Exatex. They are Mexicans. They are the first startup to ever receive funding, and it turned out to be a fraud. So it's also a learning activity if you want. Okay. The objectives of the class were to meet your teachers, the course content, the accounting basics review, accounting financial rules, financial statement, introduction to cash flow. I think we actually managed to do all of that. We're gonna finish the class here. Not before I'm gonna tell you there is a homework you need to do for the next class for Friday. So the next class we are gonna, now you know where the problem case is. You need to go to the Centro Internacional de Casos, take it, And there, wait, let me just open it again. You need to read all the case, all right? And at the bottom of the case, you are going to find the financial information. But the thing here is that the financial information, it's not built. You need to build it, all right? It will just tell you the sales, like the projected sales. Read the case so you can understand why it's projected. And then it will tell you the financial structure as percentage and as monthly or annual amounts, all right? And what is the first step to solving this case? Well, the first step is you need to read the case and build the financial information. You need to build the income statement, all right? So that's the homework you have for Friday. You need to build the income statement for this case. Again, it's Beer Station. Now, you will go to Canvas. Don't worry, it's just not, I'm not gonna leave you just hanging like, oh, teacher, I haven't done anything like that, like since first semester, I don't know how to do it. So don't worry, you will go to modules, homework number 0, income statement. And here, in case you just didn't understand my English and you want to review income statement, I just put you a video here from Khan Academy, really short video, and it will help you to understand again if you need to review how the income statement is built. And it's really easy because all you need to do is, I'm already giving you the format for the income statement. So you need to follow this format. Wait. All right. And all you need to do is just fill it up. All right. Just look for the financial information. I already have it built, so I know what are the numbers that are supposed to be here. Nothing is missing. Just build it yourself, and you need to upload it by Friday. As this is not a class or a course where I am supposed to be grading you on your ability to build an income statement, because you are supposed to have that ability already. This is only going to be graded as, it's going to be 100 or 0. If you upload a file and the file has the information from the case, even though if it's not correct, I'm going to give you 100. And those are 5 points in your final grade. If you don't do the homework, you don't do the activity, or the information you upload has nothing to do with the case, it's going to be a 0. All right, guys?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions regarding the homework that you want to review? Something that wasn't clear?
Not the homework, but I was wondering if you are going to upload the class recording.
Yes, I'm going to upload the class recording.
Okay, thank you.
Any other question?
The homework is monthly, right? The income statement is just for 1 month.
Yes, just do it for 1 month, all right? Because later we're gonna, you can do it for all the projection because you already have the projection, but that's a really good question, Brenda. I'm gonna add it to the rubric, but yes, just do it for 1 month. The first month, I think it's April 2006. You will see what the first month is. It's April 2006, yeah. Just for that month.
Thank you.
Okay, so
you can find this presentation of the class.
I'm gonna upload it. You're gonna go to modules, all right? You're gonna go here to my classes, and here in my classes, you will find, this is session number 1, so there is nothing there because we haven't seen anything yet. I'm gonna upload the recording here and also the presentation. You will find it here, and all of the other sessions, you will find them here. There are only 8 sessions with content because session number 9 is the exam and session number 10 is the review, all right? Feedback.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, if there are no other further questions, we will just finish the class here. If you have any other questions that you didn't ask, please just send me a reminder or an email. I will gladly answer you.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye.
Welcome, guys. Goodbye.
Thank you, teacher.
Thank
Very
you.
much, teacher. Have a nice day.